good, everybody? Welcome into a very special Kicking It with Tom Champions League episode of the Early Edge. Last week, my main man was 2-0 in his main picks, and we had some fun picks that we're going to do again today that have much higher odds. We'll be very clear on that. All the matches in the Champions League, you don't have to go anywhere. They're all streaming live on Paramount Plus and also on the CBS Sports Network, which we, of course, are a big part of that family. It all comes down to this week in the Champions League. If you haven't already made the Que Golazo podcast your audio outlet for complete UCL coverage, well, follow them then and make it part of your Champions League coverage. Que Golazo for premier picks and immediate recaps of all the action. Download anywhere you find this podcast. Okay, let's bring in the star of the show. Tom, take the bass out of your voice for Nelly. Last week, my man, perfect in your side picks, and I'm here for it again this week.
I would love to repeat the performance. I hope I have as good of a night as I did on Thursday when the Bears traded up to draft Justin Fields.
I could hear you screaming all the way out here on the West Coast. You were so happy to get that quarterback. I think he's going to be a star, by the way. All right, let's jump right in. Yeah, I know. But at least you got a good one. We know that from Ohio State. Okay, let's jump right in. Of course, there are 4 teams after this week. Tommy, we're going to be down to 2 teams. First bet. Manchester City, PSG. PSG plus 340. Man City coming back at minus 140. The draw in this game is plus 310. The over, the total 2.5, minus 170. The under coming back at plus 140. Tuesday, 3 Eastern. Give it to me.
Yeah, you'll remember last week we were able to get Man City at plus odds. Unfortunately, that is no longer the case this week as they're making the return trip to Manchester, but we're still on Manchester City because if we go back to last week's match, PSG came out like on fire. They were playing their best soccer. They were throwing their best punches, but in reality, it probably still should have been tied 1-1 at halftime, even though PSG had a 1-0 lead because Phil Foden had an shot, scores 9 times out of 10. And he just kicked it right at the goalie. So I looked at that and, full disclosure, I live bet Man City again at halftime at plus 300. They came back in the second half to win 2-1. They've got the 2-1 lead going into this second leg. And unfortunately for PSG, Kylian Mbappe had to leave their last match over the weekend. He had a little bit of a calf issue. Most people seem to think he's going to be playing in this match again. I think he is. He traveled with the team to England for it. But the fact is, I'm not sure it matters because that was the biggest story from the first match to me. Kylian Mbappe was completely removed from the game by Manchester City. Their defensive focus was, we're going to take him out, and if the rest of you can beat us, great. And PSG has enough other good players where that's possible to happen. I just don't think it's likely to happen. So if they're able to take Mbappe out of it again and he's less than 100%, I just think PSG's great run ends here. I think Man City has been the best team in the world for the last couple of months. This is a team that, coach, they come into this match having won 32 of their last 35 matches.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm going to take them minus 140 here. And I think that, that's really, it's a basic play. It's not the most exciting play, but I would honestly take them down to minus 200. So if I can get them at minus 140, okay.
Tommy, guess what? When I take my tickets straight to the pay window, guess what I don't do? I don't see cheerleaders. I don't see somebody saying, that's exciting. All I see is somebody saying, cash it. So I don't care about exciting, but I do care about fun. And I know you've got a fun pick in this game, a little bit higher odds, just a little sprinkle, not a full unit bet. What else do you like?
Yeah, I think there's value on Man City to win both halves at plus 320. Now, to be clear, what that means is if you break both 45-minute halves into their own separate games, Man City's going to outscore PSG in both of them. No draws, none of that. They're going to score 1-0, 1-0, whatever it is. I really think that they're just a better team than PSG. And like I said, they've been able to take Mbappe out. So the way I see this game playing, I could see it being a 2-0 kind of game where Man City gets 1 goal in the first half, 1 goal in the second half, maybe even, 3 goals total. So I like the value on Man City to win both halves at plus 320.
The full disclosure, last week when Filzy kicked it right at the goalie, I may or may not have woken up my neighbors in the middle of the afternoon screaming, no! But we got 2 in the second half, a little bit later than I would have liked. But hey, like I said, it doesn't matter when the ticket cashes. Okay, let's move on to Wednesday now. 3 Eastern, also Chelsea, plus 118 in this one. Taking on Real Madrid, plus 250. The draw coming in at plus 225. The total over 2.5 goals, plus 130. The under coming back at minus 160. What do you like here?
All right, so the first match we took the under, it finished 1-1, except that score was very misleading. Like Real Madrid's goal by Karim Benzema came on a goal that really Karim Benzema and maybe 3 or 4 other players in the world are putting in the back of the net in that situation. The way that the ball just bounced, he made a great play on it, scored. Other than that, that was the only shot Real Madrid had on goal throughout the entire 90 minutes. They really struggled the entire match to break through Chelsea's defense. And as we talked about last week, Chelsea's defense under Thomas Tuchel has been phenomenal. So that's not going to change in this second leg back at home for Chelsea. So I have a real difficult time seeing Real Madrid scoring. But again, there's desperation there because simply put, they have to if they're going to move on. But I think Chelsea's going to win. I think Chelsea's going to win this match far more often than not. I do like the under, but I think there's far more value on Chelsea at plus 118 there just because, again, Real Madrid's getting Sergio Ramos back. That's good for them. Defensively, that's great. But we have to remember, Sergio Ramos is 35, hasn't played in over a month, is coming back from a calf strain. And while rehabbing from that calf strain, he got COVID. So who knows how that really impacted his ability to come back. So I'm not sure if he's really going to be at 100%. I think that's going to hurt Real Madrid defensively. I think Chelsea's going to be able to take advantage of that. And frankly, I don't think Ramos is a great matchup for Chelsea, even if he is 100% because of the speed that they have on the counterattack. So I'm worried about Real Madrid being susceptible to counterattacks in this one, and Chelsea's going to be parking the bus. Like I said, I like the under. I don't expect it to be a higher scoring match, but I do think that Chelsea's going to win far more often than this game stays under. So that's my favorite play.
Anytime. And soccer is a very special sport in this way because both of the teams are plus odds. I'll take it. Even though it's just plus 118, I'll take it. I'll be happy with it. Now, the thing I love about William Hill, they have very specific bets that you can make. Now, you have found a very specific bet that if this thing hits, I can tell you exactly the time that I'm going to be yelling, yes! Give that to me.
I'm saying that the first goal of this match is going to come between the 46th and the 60th minute of the match, which for those who are unfamiliar is the first 15 minutes of the second half, because I'm expecting Chelsea to just come out knowing that it doesn't need to score to win. It's got the away goal tiebreaker. Chelsea would be fine with a scoreless draw in this matchup. But again, so defensively, they're going to completely hem in Real Madrid like they did the entire time. But there's been a pattern with Real Madrid this year where they're obviously one of the best teams in the world. They've reached this part of the Champions League. But when you look at the goals that they've allowed this season, like a huge portion of them have come in the first 15 minutes of the second half. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it happens, but it's just this trend that is really hard to ignore. So I wouldn't be shocked at all if we see a scoreless first half and then Chelsea in the second half on a counter gets that first goal in the first 15 minutes as Real Madrid's trying to pepper them and trying to find a way to score. So the value at plus 600, I think, is tremendous considering how many goals Real Madrid just tends to give up during that time of the match anyway.
All right, I've only got about 30 seconds, but it just hit me just now. I didn't look up the odds because it just hit me just now. But if you think it's going to be a 0-0 first half, would you make a play on that one too?
You can. It's more of a value play on me for this the plus 600, but it's just I do think it's going to be a low scoring match. But my concern here is with so much on the line and this being a tie game and Real Madrid needing to score, that could leave them susceptible defensively. Yeah. They're desperate. Everybody's a little desperate. It could get kind of crazy.
Yeah. All right. Remember on that 46 to 60 minutes, just a little sprinkle. Just a little sprinkle, bit. Not a full, but just a little bit. Okay, we're up against it. Grab your paper, grab your pencil. Here we go. Here is the recap from Tommy. All right, game number 1 on Tuesday, Man City, PSG. He loves Man City minus the 140. And then in our fun bet, Man City to win both halves. They'd have to go at least 1-0 or just they could go 2-1 if they had to, plus 320. Then Chelsea, Real Madrid on Wednesday, Chelsea plus 118. And then our fun bet, the time of the first goal in this game to happen between the 46th minute and the 60th minute of the game. If that hits, plus 600. And we're all standing up and doing one of those crazy European soccer chants together virtually. Okay. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these soccer champion league tickets straight to the pay window. For Tom, take the bass out of your voice for Nelly and the jeweler who puts it all together. I am the coach. Remember, this is the only place for your Champions League early edge. Good luck.